Every cell in your body runs on fuel. And right now, whether you ate an hour ago or 6 hours ago, your cells are making a decision about which fuel to use. A decision you did not make. A decision you cannot feel. A decision that determines whether the next few hours repair your biology or continue aging it. Most people think fasting is about not eating, about discipline, about skipping meals and tolerating hunger until the window opens again. It is not. Fasting is a biological mode, a completely different operating state with its own hormones, its own cellular programs, its own repair mechanisms that your body has been running every night for 200,000 years. And the reason most people never experience its full effect has nothing to do with willpower. It has to do with one number, 1 hour, the difference between what happens at hour 12 and what happens at hour 16. At hour 12, your body has switched fuels. At hour 16, it does something that earned a scientist the Nobel Prize in 2016, something that most people who fast every day, religiously, consistently, never trigger, because they stop 2 hours too early. This is what your body does when you stop feeding it, hour by hour. And by the end of this, the way you think about food, time, and your own biology will be permanently different. Your body runs on 2 primary fuel systems, and it can only fully use one at a time. The first is glucose, the fuel derived from carbohydrates and the sugars in your food. When glucose is available, your pancreas produces insulin to move it into cells. Your liver stores the excess as glycogen. Your fat cells remain locked. Insulin prevents them from releasing stored fat. This is the fed state. This is where most people spend most of their lives. The second fuel system is fat oxidation. When glucose runs low and insulin drops, your liver begins converting stored fat into molecules called ketone bodies, an alternative fuel source that your brain, heart, and muscles can use with remarkable efficiency. This is the fasted state. And the transition between the two, the metabolic switch, is one of the most powerful biological events your body can experience. The metabolic switch does not happen the moment you stop eating. It happens gradually across hours as glucose depletes, insulin falls, and the biological signals that unlock fat burning accumulate. This is why the hour you stop eating matters less than how many consecutive hours follow it. Let us follow those hours, one by one. Hour 1. The moment your last meal finishes digesting, blood glucose begins its natural decline. Your pancreas detects the drop and reduces insulin production. With insulin falling, a cellular alarm system activates, the same enzyme we covered in episode 5, AMPK, AMP-activated protein kinase. AMPK is the cellular energy sensor. When it detects that glucose supply is declining, it begins redirecting your body's priorities. It activates fat-burning pathways. It signals mitochondria to become more efficient. It suppresses the energy-expensive processes, like cell growth, that are not immediately necessary. All of this happens within the first hour of not eating. Your body has not shifted to fat burning yet, but it has begun dismantling the conditions that prevent it. Hour 3. Insulin has dropped significantly. Your liver, which stores glucose as glycogen for quick-release energy, begins drawing on those glycogen stores to maintain blood glucose levels. As long as liver glycogen is available, fat burning remains limited. The body prefers to burn glucose first, but the glycogen stores are finite. A healthy liver holds approximately 100 grams of glycogen. At rest, the liver releases roughly 10 grams of glucose per hour. The math is straightforward. Liver glycogen will be significantly depleted within 8 to 12 hours of not eating. The clock is running. Hour 6, blood glucose has stabilized at a lower but healthy baseline. Insulin is at its lowest point since your last meal. The 4 hormonal signals we covered in episode 5, insulin, leptin, cortisol, IGF-1, are all moving in the direction that promotes fat burning and cellular repair. This is the window between hour 6 and hour 12, where time-restricted eating produces most of its metabolic benefit. Even an 8-hour eating window with a 16-hour fast captures this window every night. Most people are asleep for most of it. Hour 8. Liver glycogen is nearly depleted. The body can no longer easily maintain blood glucose from stored carbohydrate. It faces a choice: break down muscle protein into glucose or shift to burning fat. In a healthy body with adequate protein intake, the answer is fat. Free fatty acids begin flooding the bloodstream from fat cells, the same fat cells that insulin was keeping locked for the previous 8 hours. They travel to the liver, which converts them into ketone bodies. Your brain detects the rising ketones and begins accepting them as fuel. The metabolic switch is beginning. Hour 12. The metabolic switch has flipped. Your body is now primarily running on fat and ketones rather than glucose. Insulin is near its daily minimum. Growth hormone, the hormone that protects muscle during fasting, has begun its compensatory rise, triggered by falling insulin. This is the hour at which most of the measurable metabolic benefits of intermittent fasting appear in research. A 2025 meta-analysis reviewing 134 studies found that consistent exposure to this 12-hour fasted window, achieved simply by finishing dinner by 7 p.m. and eating breakfast after 7 a.m., produced significant improvements in insulin sensitivity, inflammatory markers, and lipid profiles over 6 months. Most people who eat dinner at 8 p.m. and breakfast at 7 a.m. are not reaching this window. They are eating in a pattern that never allows the metabolic switch to complete. Hour 16. This is the hour that earned a Nobel Prize. In 2016, Yoshinori Ohsumi received the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for his work uncovering the mechanisms of autophagy, from the Greek words for self-eating. Autophagy is the process by which your cells identify damaged or dysfunctional components, misfolded proteins, damaged organelles, cellular debris, and systematically break them down for recycling. Autophagy is running at low levels continuously, but it is powerfully upregulated by fasting. The primary trigger is the suppression of a protein called mTOR, mechanistic target of rapamycin. mTOR is the cellular growth regulator. When nutrients are abundant, when insulin is elevated, when amino acids are plentiful, mTOR is active and autophagy is suppressed. The cell is in growth mode. When nutrients decline, when insulin falls, when AMPK is elevated, mTOR is suppressed and autophagy increases. At hour 16, autophagy is running at significantly elevated levels in most tissues. Your cells are identifying and dismantling damaged proteins that would otherwise accumulate and contribute to cellular aging, inflammation, and dysfunction. This is not a metaphor. This is a measurable, documentable biological process that your body performs every time you fast long enough. Research links chronic autophagy suppression, which is what happens when insulin is elevated most of the day from frequent eating, to accelerated cellular aging, increased inflammatory burden, and higher risk of metabolic disease. Research links regular autophagy activation through fasting, caloric restriction, or exercise to markers of cellular longevity. Hour 18. Ketone bodies are now the primary fuel for your brain, and ketones do something glucose cannot do. We covered BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, in episode 4. BDNF is the primary growth factor for neurons. It promotes new neuron formation, strengthens existing connections, and is one of the strongest predictors of cognitive health across a lifetime. Exercise elevates BDNF, and so does fasting. Ketone metabolism in neurons triggers the production of BDNF through a pathway involving the transcription factor PGC1 alpha, the same master regulator of mitochondrial biogenesis we discussed in episode 5. When neurons burn ketones instead of glucose, they activate a gene expression program that includes elevated BDNF production. The brain during an 18-hour fast is not running on fumes. It is running on a cleaner, more efficient fuel and simultaneously activating the biological program that promotes its own growth and repair. Here is what fasting actually is. It is not a diet. It is not a weight loss hack. It is the activation of a biological operating mode that your body has been running for 200,000 years of human evolution. Every night, every time food was scarce, every time the hunt did not find anything, the fed state optimizes for growth, reproduction, and immediate performance. The fasted state optimizes for repair, maintenance, and longevity. Both are necessary. Neither is superior. What is problematic is spending virtually all of your waking hours in the fed state, which is what continuous snacking, late-night eating, and early morning eating creates, and never giving the fasted state enough consecutive time to complete its biological program. The minimum threshold for meaningful metabolic benefit is 12 hours. This is achievable for almost everyone. Finish dinner by 7 p.m., eat breakfast after 7 a.m. The autophagy threshold, hour 16, requires more intention but is not extreme. Finish dinner at 7 p.m., skip breakfast, eat at 11 a.m. That is a 16-hour fast. Nothing dramatic. The practical sequence based on what the biology actually requires: first, establish your eating window, not based on social convention, based on circadian biology. The research on time-restricted eating consistently shows that eating windows aligned with morning and midday, not evening, produce better metabolic outcomes than the same window shifted late. Dinner at 6 or 7 p.m., not 9. Second, do not break the fast with sugar or refined carbohydrates. Breaking a 16-hour fast with a high glucose meal triggers a sharp insulin spike that immediately suppresses the autophagy and fat oxidation you spent 16 hours building. Break it with protein and fat. Let insulin rise slowly. Third, understand that the fasted state is not a stressed state. Cortisol does not chronically elevate during a healthy fast. Growth hormone rises to protect muscle. BDNF rises to protect the brain. The body is not suffering, it is cleaning. The discomfort you feel during the first few days of extended fasting is not the fast harming you. It is your biology adapting to a mode it has not been in for a long time. The reason this connects to everything we have covered in previous episodes is that fasting is the single intervention that simultaneously addresses all 4 hormonal signals from episode 5. It lowers insulin, it restores leptin sensitivity, it reduces cortisol-driven visceral fat accumulation through circadian alignment, and it elevates growth hormone and IGF-1 to protect muscle. 4 signals. 1, behavioral change. Your body already knows how to fast. It has been doing it every night. You are not adding something new. You are simply giving it the time it needs to finish the job. If you want to understand how the 4 hormones from episode 5 interact with the fasting state specifically, and why breaking a fast with sugar immediately undoes most of what you built, that mechanism is in episode 5 of Body Signals. Watch it next. Subscribe to Body Signals. Every week, one mechanism. Explain the way it actually works.